Welcome back to another great episode of Comedians in Bed. And as always, I like to give a nice introduction for our next guest. As you can see, she is handling business as usual super moms do. Not only is she a super mom, man, but I'm hearing in these streets that she's a super comedian, not just in the streets of where she's from, but the streets all over, man. She's been getting around, hitting all these different stages, opening up for big names. And that is because her name is Big herself, man. We are so excited to welcome to Comedians in Bed, Mieka Jay, everybody. Give it up for Mieka Jay. How you doing?
I am wonderful. I am good. Feeling good. Rolled around in these LA streets, as you guys can see. Like, I don't have a cute background. I'm not stable. It's gonna get a little shaky, Ty, but I'm here.
Hey,
But
like
I'm great.
I feel like I should be saying like yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am to you. Like,
Don't give me no yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. I am not that old, okay? I'm not that old.
what I
No, I
did,
got
what I
grown up kids, but I was fast.
what I DM'd you, I was like, I hope I'm not bothering you, because
You
I'm like,
did. It was all polite. You was like, "Hello, ma'am. Would you like to do my podcast?" I'm like, "Yes, yes, young man. I
because
would
I know you
love
got
to."
kids. I know you got kids, and I know she got a husband. So I was like, all right, let me make sure I come in these DMs in the afternoon.
No, I do. I got kids. I got a husband, but even having a husband, I'll be excited when I get a DM. When you get married, you're excited when somebody flirt with you, husband and
how
all. I'm like, "Hey, what's your name?" Feel good in my heart.
how has your family like supported you and helped you along this comedic journey that you're taking right now?
My family is extremely supportive in it. They love it. So like there are shows. I actually have a show that I do at my home. I do a backyard comedy show, so they kind of have to support it because it's at the house. Um, and they've been very supportive. Everyone, from my kids, they weird with like what you say and why you talking about me. Don't say anything about me, but everybody weird until they get a check. If when the money start flowing in, nobody not gonna be tripping.
Right. do
But
you
no, they're all very supportive.
do you talk about like your kids and stuff, and like how do they feel about like when you make jokes about them?
Of course, I talk about my kids. They're part of my life. And they feel. I mean, I don't give each name on what retarded thing they do, but I definitely talk about them, and they feel, how they feel. Like I don't care how they feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I talk about my kids, myself, my husband. I talk about anything. Whatever comes to mind is gonna come out on stage.
What made you like get on stage for in the first place? Was it like something that you naturally felt? Was like on a dare? Was you like super drunk? Like what happened?
No, it was my friends, really family and friends. Like I've always been kind of like loud and just, say what I want to say and just like, I guess funny, but like, funny like around your friends, like the funny one. And they just kept saying, you should try stand up. You should try stand up. And of course, I'm like, I'm not trying that. Like, so, like, and they're just staring at me. And then one day I kind of, I had quit my job and I was, what, I don't have anything to lose. And I got up there and I tried it. Um, Tammy Mack, she's like a radio host out here in LA. And she used to have a mixer where people would do like 1 minute sets, go up there and do like 1 minute. And I went one day and I did my 1 minute and I fell in love, loved it. And that day got another opportunity to do another show. So I did that show. Then after that, I was like, I never want to stop feeling this way. So that's kind of how it happened. It wasn't a dare. I was very sober and just decided to just try something, just like YOLO. So yeah.
Have you gone back to the 9 to 5 since, or you just
Oh yeah, I've been doing comedy now for 9 years, so I've had my 9 to 5 moments. You know what I mean? Like, but I always laugh and tell my husband, like, I feel like in my life, I go through like I'm a comic, right? Everything's going well, money's coming in. It gets slow, and then I'll get a job because I have a family. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, my situation, since I've been a comedian, I've been married and I've always had kids since the beginning. So I never had the option of kind of like, hustling it out. Like, no, I've needed real money. You know what I mean? So I would have those moments where, you get broke because, being a comic is a hustle. And then I would have to take a job, get a 9 to 5. But it's hard because I always felt like as soon as I got a 9 to 5, opportunities come. Like it was like the timing of it was like, I'm not doing anything. Then all of a sudden, I get a job and they're like, "Oh, you want to film on this show for 3 weeks?" And it's like, yeah. So then I quit a job, So for 9 years, yes, 9 to 5s, but I've been quitting them left and right too.
Mieka, like how do you? I never asked a mom this before, so I'm gonna take the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if one of your sons was to bring home a young lady, and she was like trying to be like fun, do they usually try to be like funny with you, or do they be like real proper? Because you have like an unconventional like job, like you know what I'm saying. So coming at you may be a little different.
So get the opposite. Like no one ever tries to be funny with me. They come over and kind of like my eldest son is 19. So, he dating girlfriend, all that. But when they come to me, they're more quiet. I think they're afraid to kind of say something, because I'm so like loud and just like, direct that I think they're more fearful. So I usually run into like girls that come over and it's like, hi. And then after that, they're just like sitting in the corner, like scared. And then I'm like, you weird. Like, who are you? Because this isn't who you really are. Not if you date my son.
What has it been like traveling, like, the world and like being around from family and living out your dreams? Like, what has that experience been like? Because moms have like a certain connection to their kids. So what has that experience been like?
That part is difficult. It's difficult. Like I'm saying, I'll be, in Ohio on like New Year's Eve. Like I won't be with my husband kissing at midnight, like all the little stuff. So it's difficult, yeah, as a mom, but my kids know like my goal and they really enjoy it. Like they love what I do, so I think they support it. But for me, I think it freaks me out more than anything. I'm like, oh God, I'm not home and it's a birthday, or I'm not home and it's Thanksgiving. It's just, I think I'm probably more hard on myself than they are on me
Yeah,
when it comes to
yeah.
missing anything or missing events and dates. Yeah.
How does that work in like your relationships with your immediate family? Like, how do you spread the time to make sure everybody's getting what they need, but you're also spending the time doing the work that you need to do on your craft?
Show love when you're there, and then it goes into like also like just that support system, right? Like my family wants me to win. And if winning is, missing this or missing that, they're okay with it, because they love the craft, they love me, and they know that like this is my thing. You know what I mean? So, it's equivalent to like, I mean, it's not equivalent, but like, you have doctors, and doctors can't always be with their family on Christmas, right? But they know that like whatever their job is important. And I view comedy as being like just as important, like making people laugh, in the times we live in now is like extremely important, for them to have that moment of like release. Like for that moment, they don't have no worries, they don't have any stress, they're just there to have fun. So being
Yeah.
able to give that gift to people is extremely important.
So when your family said when your like your parents and your in-laws and they was like, she
Mhm.
doing what now? Like when they heard that you wanted to do comedy, like what was that conversation like?
The funny part is it wasn't weird because like my family, like they're all clowns. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of how comedy came natural for me. Like I grew up in a house where it was like it'll be like 10 people, my grandfather, my uncles, they're in the living room just clowning and drinking all day. So it's like just a daytime regular comedy show that happened every day. But I think talking about, actually doing stand up and doing it on a professional level, I never got any like negative feedback about it. it was always just those moments of like going back to like, well, are you gonna work? You know what I mean? Like black people got this thing, like you gonna go to work or you gonna go to school, or you gonna go to school and go to work. Like what money? Like how much money is it paying? You know what I mean? So it was more of that than anything. I think just concerned with like the financial well being side of it more than anything. But other than that, no, they were just like, whoa, okay. And then, when they start seeing you actually getting booked, and they see you like the flyers are out, this is out, and they actually see you making moves at it, then they're really like, okay, this might be working, and at that point, they're really like in it, you know? So, yeah.
Besides from like being funny and stuff, how else did you like work on getting booked? Because sometimes it can be hard, when you first starting off, and then you gotta kind of connect with the right people. Like how did
hmm
how did that venture start to getting like consistent book to now where you're booking like every weekend in like comedy clubs?
Um, it was definitely networking is huge. You know what I'm saying? And just having good relationships with people and just being a good person in general. Like cool, genuine people. And so I think for me, like I said, I did the Tammy Mac, and then after the Tammy Mac, it was another opportunity I got. It was at like a club. I did that. And then they told me to go to like an open mic. At that time out here, J. Anthony Brown had the J Spot. And I went to the J Spot one night, did open mic, and I had fun. It was cool. Like went up there, but that night I met maybe like three comedians at night, and then I met this guy who's a close friend of mine. His name is Memphis Will. And Memphis Will has this thing where like he would kind of do these shows called Brigham shows. But the Brigham shows are cool when you're a new comic because it gets you, on a stage that you wouldn't necessarily get, stage time on, right? So I did a Brigham show with Memphis Will and sold it out, right? And killed. Like I did great on top of that. And then from that moment, that night I met people, then they would book me. Then I meet people and then they would book me. And then it also was beneficial because on top of now where you're networking and you're building, a community, and they see you when you're good, or whatever, then I started doing my own shows, producing my own shows, and comics definitely should produce their own shows because now you have people reaching out to you to get on your show, right? So that's also like expanding your network of comics now. So you're doing great. You're building your craft because now you got the time to work on material and comics all one stage time, so they reaching out to you. And now when they have shows or they know of opportunities, if you're good, then they'll reach out to you. So I think for me, it's just been networking and meeting the right people. And when I get an opportunity, I make sure that I kill it, like I do my best. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't drop the ball on it. So if I get a call and they're like, "Oh, we need you to do a show on whatever it may be," at that moment I'm there. If I'm able to be there. So I think just networking, creating great relationships, putting yourself out there in every opportunity, kill it. And then I pray before I go. I can do the smallest room, but before I do any room and I get on stage, I pray that opportunity turns into a next one, another opportunity, and that has not failed me. So yeah, so that
You're not praying to the sun, are you?
no, I pray to God, to Jesus Christ, the Lord and Savior. That's
How did
no, my son. I'm trying to get
how
this
did
right. Let
you
me see if I can do it. Actually.
how
Boom.
did you
Okay.
guys how did you guys come up with the idea to do the show in your it looked like your backyard at your house?
Yes. So one of my friends, her name was Ashley. She did like a backyard comedy show. It wasn't at her house though. It was she did it at someone else's house. And we went and it was cool. I was like, oh, I like this. And so my husband and I, we have a very nice sized backyard. So we kept going back and forth with the thought, some other comedian friends of mine as well. And his name is Deshaun Ross. And Deshaun is one of my friends. He's a comic. He's like, you got all this space, do it. And I was like, I don't want people to know where I live at. Like that's weird. And we decided like, let's just try it and see how it goes. And it went very well. So yeah, we just decided to just do it and we did it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think
when you go ahead, my fault.
I was just saying I think a lot of the, a lot of these things are just jumping out there and trying it and doing it, right? Like that's I feel how I started doing comedy or how most people jump into it. It's like I'm gonna try it, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then it just doesn't. You know what I mean? But I tried. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I had like the worst perverted thought came to my mind right now, but I forgot I'm talking to a mom, so I have to like make sure.
Whatever. Whatever.
I think it's super dope, man. I love when parents like don't like give up on their dreams and they're still going there while raising their kids. I think that's so like admirable for real to see parents still like living out their life too.
I mean, and you kind of have to. My thing is like my oldest child, my daughter will be 21 in January. So I had her young, but she'll be 21 in January. And for almost 21 years, my focus was being a mom, right? Like, so it's like finally, when I finally got that, I had multiple jobs, worked in healthcare, this, that. Then I finally got that piece of comedy, and I'm like, no, this is what I should be doing. No matter when I found out that it was like my destiny or my goal, like this is what I want to do. And for me, it was time for me to jump on that,
Mhm.
no matter how old I may be or like I gave her my time. I'm done with her.
Yeah. When you look at like where you started at now, and like when you get off that stage, when just did a weekend at a comedy club, like what is that feeling like? Because I think everybody wants to get to their appointed time, but it's not about the destination; it's about the journey.
Right. The feeling is amazing. Like that's the thing is it's like for me, I'm always like, we look at me. Don't judge me. I'm trying to have me a little whatever you laughing at me. I tell you, this podcast is wet.
I think she accidentally hit the off button, which is totally fine because I greatly appreciate her, Mieka, for even being on here.
I'm sorry.
You're
Can you
fine.
hear me?
Yeah.
God, a mess. You know how I am? No, I'm a mess. I'm surprised it didn't drop a long time ago. But that's what happened. Mess. But look at me. What was your question?
My question was about the journey. Like, you
Oh,
first got on stage and now you're, every other weekend at comedy clubs. Talk about that feeling when you get off stage, like, wow, I'm finally here, and still got places, different levels to get to.
right. So the journey's beautiful. Like it's a great feeling when you finally realize like you live in like an answer prayer, right? Like, but the thing with me is that rare for me to get those moments. Like I'm like so busy, like my mind never stops. Like it's constantly going. So it's like sometimes I do have to stop and just be like, whoa, like you here, like you good. You know what I mean? You just did this. This was something that was like on your list and you've done it, right? So I think that just taking that breather, like sometimes stopping and realize that like something we wanted or we were asking for, and just like, damn, I made it. Like I'm here, right? So it's a great feeling, man, because like I told you, over the course of these 9 years, man, just quitting a job, dropping a job, like I'll be at work typing, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna go to lunch and not come back. Like, like it was that bad. Like my husband was like, "Really? That's what we doing?"
Yeah.
So, but yeah, but it's good. I feel good. It's a blessing, But I feel like that, just like with, traveling and doing that part of it. But just like with every show, like with any show, because I always view it like if I want to book someone, right? I have it's so many comedians you can book, right? But for whatever reason, they chose you, right? They didn't have to. chose you. They was like, I want you to be on my show. So any little opportunity can be great and turn into something. So
Yeah.
it's good. It's a
Yeah.
great feeling. You feel accomplished, you know?
How's it feel to see the world? Like that's something. I mean, you're on business trips, but you're also seeing the world too.
To me, that's probably the most exciting part. Like I'm big on traveling. I love to travel. No matter where. I don't care. I want to go. But that is probably the best part of it to me. Like not the best because the stage is the best, but outside of being on stage, just to be able to travel, go to new places and meet new people, that's the one of the dopest things about it. That is something that like you're not gonna get with a 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? Like I might have a consistent check. 9 to 5s are consistency. I know that if I go to this job in 2 weeks, I'm gonna have this much money in my pocket, right? Versus like right now, it's Christmas, and I'm like, who want to hear a joke? Who want to hear a joke? Trying to get my money up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but yeah, being able to travel, meet new people, expand your brand, eat new foods, like just that's dope to me because I love traveling. Yeah.
How important is it for, I don't want to say, well, how important is it for us like black comedians to stick together and women to stick together in this industry as well? Because one thing I learned like when I first got in here is like I didn't really think about it because just growing up I just saw a lot of black comedians, but like a lot of Caucasians like run this industry. So like how important is it for us to like kind of like stick together?
I think it's extremely important, and people don't understand it, but yeah, comedy is very segregated. Like it's very segregated. You have, your white comedians, you have your black comedians, you have your Latino comedians, you know what I mean? So it's extremely segregated and sticking together is extremely important, like that's how I view it. Like right now I'm traveling with Tacarra Williams, but with Tacarra, she and I had a room together maybe 7 years ago. Small little room called Talking Over Tacos. We curated it ourselves. We would eat tacos and just talk. And then we turned it into a comedy show. And, even back then, it was one of those things like whoever gets big, take the other person with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the things that people need to do as a community. And that's why I think for me, like, always think about like Kevin Hart. What I do like about Kevin Hart is like his boys, the Plastic Cup Boys. These are his boys. Like they write for him. Everything he does, they're involved in it. Everybody's eating, everybody's growing and getting a check. And I think that that's something that we as a community need to make sure that we do for each other.
Yeah.
And as far as female comedians, definitely, because it's a male dominated field, right? you know um I've been blessed to meet a lot of like really cool female comedians, and it's like for me, it's not competition. Everybody got their own lane, and I think that's what everybody needs to kind of come to copes with. It's like just because we're both girls or females, we can be talking about two completely different things. Like I'm married, I have children. My husband is a youth pastor. Everybody's story is different. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the hood. Somebody bougie. Everybody's situation is different. So yeah, everybody needs to stick together and grow and just make it work. Make it work and help each other out. That's my view of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm back in the
Nah.
car.
As we
Well, I've been
no,
in the
you're
car, but I'm
fine.
back rolling
You're
around in the car.
fine. As we wrap this
I had to
up.
pick up a kid. He in the trunk. I would say backseat, but no, the trunk. I keep my kids in the trunk.
As we wrap this up, I'm gonna have you back on again because we gotta definitely talk about
I'm
your
sorry.
husband being.
My volume went low. Okay.
No, you're fine. I
What did you
said,
say again?
yeah, I said, I'm definitely gonna have to have you back on because we definitely gotta talk about your husband being a youth pastor. I wasn't expecting you to say
You didn't
that.
know that, huh? See? I dropped that on you. I'm kind of a first lady. See, you didn't even know that, Ty. See? Always drop that ball in comedy. I'm up there. I'll be up there being me, loud talking, cussing, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a first lady. People like, oh, what?
As we wrap this
I
up, man,
am.
what words of encouragement do you have for like anybody listening or watching this right now?
Words of encouragement I have is keep going. Don't quit. Don't let anything, whatever it may be. It may not be comedy. It can be acting, starting a business, whooping your kids. Keep going. Don't quit. Just
Yeah.
stay like, just stay focused. And like times are gonna get hard. You're gonna struggle. You're gonna not have your best days. Like I do a set sometimes, and then I don't necessarily bomb, but I know it's not my best work, right? I'm like, I know I can do better than that. And at that moment, I'm not gonna quit. I'm gonna make sure that the next show I do is great.
Yeah.
Work on myself, work on my craft. So I think that's my words of encouragement is to just never quit, keep going, and like don't stop. Don't let nobody stop you from your goals and your dreams, no matter who it is. Don't let them stop you. And when all else fails, pray. Pray, pray, pray.
Mieka, tell people why they should listen to Comedians in Bed.
You should listen to Comedians in Bed because it is fire. I love the name because I stay in bed. Ty, a little cutie. He called me an old lady. Can y'all believe he called me an old lady? Listen to it since he think he young. But yeah, tune in to Comedians in Bed with Ty. It's been a pleasure to be here. You're dope, Ty. Thank you for having me on.
I appreciate you so much. Tell people where they can reach you at.
You can reach me on it's Mieka Jay. ITS Mieka Jay. It is spelled Mieka Jay. And I am Mieka Jay everywhere. Mieka Jay, Mieka Jay, Mieka Jay. And if you come to LA, holler at your girl. Got some shows out here. And I will be in Dayton, Ohio with Tacarra Williams. We will be at the Funny Bone December 30th and December 31st for New Year's. So come outside so I can give somebody a kiss.
And you can watch you guys can watch this episode on my YouTube channel as well. Subscribe at Ty Erskine. You can listen to this wherever you listen to podcasts. We got Mieka Jay on here. We greatly appreciate you guys. We're gonna definitely have her on again. She was on the go. And my apologies, I did you wrong because they actually got this feature that like if your signal bad, it could make it like good no matter what. But like I ain't know how to work it and I ain't press it before we started. So I ain't gonna do you wrong like that. I'm gonna have you back on. We're gonna talk again. But in the meantime, in between time, thank you, Mieka Jay, for being on here with us. This has been Comedians in Bed. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.